Welcome to the Must Love Yarncast.
Here we are. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Don't get used
planned.
to it.
Right.
Because I think I go to a sneak preview ahead to my schedule and I'm like, oh God. So anyway, we're here. This is a Yarncast about yarn and knitting and sometimes crocheting and other fiber-related adjacent adventures that we bring to you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont. We are both mildly distracted because one of my kids is here with us. She's
doing
trying to
jumping jacks
entertain
on the
us
side.
as she walks by behind the camera. So
Which she's done several times now, but
yes.
hopefully
She is my comedian of the two.
Yeah.
So you can find the store out on social media as Must Love Yarn, and you're going to be able to buy a large number of the things that we're going to be talking about today. Jen and I both reach into our stash at times, and we have things in there that can't purchase at the store because we've gotten them other places, as fiber enthusiasts do.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Please feel free to follow and friend the store and all different platforms, World Wide Web, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, though as the manager of the Blue Sky account, I need to do some posting over there because it's a little slim because I forget.
That it's there.
Too many platforms to post
Well,
to.
and I think, there was the big excitement of it starting, and there doesn't seem to be very much activity over there, but I could be wrong. I don't go over there, so that's probably why.
No, there is.
I have an account, but that's all I've managed
and
to
do. I've encountered some new fiber folks, new to me fiber folks over there, so I think that's cool too.
It's good.
And I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
And you can find me on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Ravelry, Blue Sky, as Junior Bird Kid.
I'm not smart enough to use one thing for all of them, so...
cross-branding.
That's right. On Ravelry, you can find me as J Arbuckle. On Instagram, I'm Jennifer_Arbuckle. And on Blue Sky, I'm J-Arbuckle.
Yep. And for ease of not having to remember all of those, even though I do put them at the bottom of the screen, we have linked in show notes to all of those various accounts. And I did add Bobolink yarns for Jen as well.
I forgot about that. You can also find me there.
At Bobolink.
So now on Facebook, I have 4 pages.
Yeah.
On Instagram, I have 3. So it's just between...
Yeah.
Because I have the Great Northern Yarn Haul as well that I run. So
it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
So, come follow us, see what's going on those accounts that are linked to me. Those are my personal accounts, so you're going to see other stuff on there.
The Bobolink one.
Right. You're going to see everything from kids stuff to yarn stuff to who knows.
The store is where you can find most
fiber and yarn.
All the fibery stuff.
And
what's happening here in the store versus what's happening to either one of us.
Our personal,
individually.
Whatever crisis of the moment. Or
you could find knitting stuff on both, but you're more likely to find
I'm pretty sure some of my Facebook friends are just like, does she post anything except for yarn-related stuff?
I know.
I do, but it's a lot of yarn for the...
And neither one of us has time to be on there every day.
For the non-fiber people.
It's, I feel like I'm lucky if it's like once or twice a week.
It depends.
Let's be honest. It depends. Sometimes it's like 5 times in 1 week.
Yes.
Because I'm somewhere interesting.
Or like 3 times in one day because I just am getting it out of my system. And then it's like, you should schedule some of these and spread them out. Anyway, that's
another level of activity then.
Next level.
Right.
Which I'll do for the store sometimes for Yarncast releases.
Yeah.
I've been scheduling posts for those because that is an easy way to just make sure people are seeing that the Yarncast
Beat the algorithms.
Trying. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gotten super weird. So we like to start our Yarncast with our Yarncast pick.
Or close to the beginning anyway.
Once we get done with all this introduction stuff, and there's like 25 minutes of chit chat at the end as well.
Today was a little longer than normal.
Totally longer than normal. So we chose, this is a bulky yarn, which feels counterintuitive.
Chunky, not super bulky.
Chunky. It feels counterintuitive for headed into spring, except that it's a cotton.
It sure is. Organic. 100% organic yarn. Cotton. 100% cotton. That's how it is.
100% cotton. So
100 grams, 109 yards. So
yeah, it's bulky weight.
Yeah.
So this is Juniper Moon Farm Bud, which retails for $13.99.
It's also
and Bud Dappled, which retails for $14.99.
It has a little bit of a marl. There's only a couple of those.
Only a couple that we have.
Yeah.
But we have a ton of really awesome spring colors.
So many to choose from.
So many.
And good quantities of all of them. So if you're looking, and some people look at this in the store when they're looking at it and they're like, oh, it's got that sort of bubbly sort of effect to it, but it doesn't when you knit it. The garment.
It knits
flat.
I
should have brought over the little sample over there, but I didn't. Sometimes there's a little bit of that, but it flattens out once you've knit it.
It has a little bit of texture,
but it's not
but not like
bobbles.
Bobble
not
texture.
At all. So we feel like there's kind of a color for everybody. There are so many. And then the dappled ones, we have like a gray and white. This is actually a blue and white, although it like a pale blue and white. And then the cream is like cream on cream kind of dappled. Okay. So these four are the dappled ones that we have. And then the rest are all the regular ones.
Nice.
So, yeah, lots of great colors.
Fun.
Springtime, summery, great for kids stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to knit up a quick little sweater for someone, for yourself, or for a small person in your life.
Yep.
So it's a lot of people use it for like those like baby washcloth or the baby snuggly sort of things that babies will chew on
or hold on to.
Yeah.
They have, so a lot of times they have like a little animal head.
Right.
And like,
that's what we have as a sample over there. Yeah.
That like a blanky thing that hangs down. So why don't we do the code YPBUD? Pretty sure we haven't used that before.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure. But it won't matter.
YPBUD25. Then we know for sure we have not used it before.
But you can reactivate the old one, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, either way.
Shopify gets weird. So let's just stick with YPBUD25 because we know we have not used that code before.
Correct.
And why we're giving you a code is in our online system. If you order online, you can get 10% off of this yarn for the 2 weeks following the airing of this podcast, so Yarncast. So this is going to post on March 28th. So through April 11th, the code will be active, and you can get 10% off online and in store. Though in store, you need to tell whoever's checking you out that it's the Yarncast pick. It's not going to automatically apply, but if you tell them this is the Yarncast pick, they'll take 10% off.
This is top secret knowledge.
Top secret. You have to watch the Yarncast.
Are aware of
to get the deal.
Yeah.
So,
and we have a variety of other things going. We have a newsletter code. We have other codes that we use for discounts like that. So if you don't tell the person at the counter, they will not know.
Nope.
Not that they don't know that it's happening. They just
right.
Won't.
They just won't apply it because they don't know that you're in the know. So you gotta tell them you're a
member of our top secret club.
Yes. Yarncast Club. Woo!
That's right. There we go. I knew it.
Yarncast Club is now become the title of this episode.
That's right.
Because that's fun. All right. So, what are we wearing today?
Well, do you want to go first with your nice new sweater?
I can.
It's pretty.
It's at FO. I'm pretty sure when we were here 2 weeks ago, it was finished, but it was
wet.
Still drying because this is a sweater that's knit with 3 strands of worsted weight yarn, They were all superwash, so this thing sucked up water like nobody's business, and no amount of wringing out was going to solve that problem.
14 towels later.
Had to dry on the rack on its own.
Yeah.
Which it did, and is delightful, and now is like properly sized for both sleeves and body. Let me just stand up real quick. It is intended to be a little bit of a cropped, but it's a nice length.
Yeah. It looks nice and sort of like sweatshirty.
It's so comfortable.
Yeah.
So comfortable. And you could button. It will take buttons. I may leave. It has buttonholes. Well, you don't actually make buttonholes. You just make them in the sweater. I don't know that I'm going to put buttons on this, which is what I do sometimes with cardigans.
Yeah.
Because I don't always want to wear them closed. They get too hot.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
But it is so cozy and
Yeah.
squishy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you knit on 13s.
And you think, oh, it's going to take all this yarn because it's 3 strands, but really
3 skeins of
it's still the same weight of yarn total.
Right. For this size that I made, it took 3 skeins of 3 different colors, held triple.
Right. And if you bought bulky yarn to make that sweater, it would be the same weight.
Right.
Relatively speaking. So
Right. Yeah. So super fun. You can play with different color combinations.
You chose 3 that were relatively close together.
2 of them were, one was not.
Yeah, the
lighter
green.
Lighter green was not, just to give it some little
But it was
pops.
in one of the other colors, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Something a little different. Very fast knit. Super fast knit. Even for non-speedster, it would be a fast knit.
Has those drop shoulders,
Little drop shoulders, so the sleeves aren't quite as long.
Yeah.
Not as much sleeve knitting here.
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend it. This is the Kaleidoscope. This is where we're gonna.
It's a good stash buster, and if you've got
Kaleidoscope cardigan.
Yeah, if you've got a variety of yarns sort of hanging around, like 2 of these and 1 of those and whatever. Like it's a great. I mean, you chose and you sort of carefully curated your colors, but you could easily just sort of marl something together that kind of fades or doesn't fade or whatever, and use up a bunch of 9 single skeins that you've got lying around.
Yeah, no, totally. You absolutely could.
And I'm actually thinking to myself,
maybe I could do that. Yeah.
Or leftovers, like lots of worsted leftovers.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. You could have so much fun with this. This is not the... oh my God, my brain just went. So I've linked the patterns. There's 2 Kaleidoscope cardigans. One is by Jamie Creates. That's what this one is. And then there's one that's by... oh no. They do all the bulky... crazy.
Oh, collage.
Knit collage. Sorry. Yeah, my brain just went like... Nope. There's one called Kaleidoscope Cardigan that's by Knit Collage. That is not this sweater. It's the one by Jamie Creates. But it's all linked in show notes. The Knit Collage one's lovely. It's just a different one.
A different thing.
Different thing. So that's what I got.
All right.
What you wearing today?
This is the original version of my pattern, A Pretty Luxe shawl.
Yep.
And this is a triangle version. There's a crescent shawl version that I made with like a cashmere blend that I wear all the time, like as my winter scarf. But this is Noro, and I want to say it was Ariel.
It looks like it might be an Ariel.
Yeah.
But there's so many of them.
Yeah, right. And it was a while ago now that I made this, but it's 3 different Noros. That sort of grade 8 down. But it was fun to make, and it's one of those, the temperature went from being 66 last weekend to yesterday was a beautiful sunny day, and it was like in the 40s or 50s. I was walking around with just a puffer vest on and not a coat yesterday when I was down at the farm. And
this morning
I went out on the porch for a minute. And first thing I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It was 19 degrees.
Yeah, so. It's ridiculous.
And it's supposed to snow again tomorrow. So
yeah.
I drove to Providence on Thursday and came back, and I was like, oh, look, it snowed in Vermont while I was gone.
Yep. Yes, it did.
Anyway, I was feeling the need for the cozy, big, cushy shawl today. So
nice.
That's it.
Nice.
It is one of those warm ones.
Yeah.
Not super warm because it's got the open sections, but it's just
nice for those
yeah.
in between seasons.
Yeah. It was between this and the Sharon show this morning.
Yep.
How big can I get?
Yeah, and this sweater is very warm. Though I did just put a vest over the top of it. I'm feeling like, I don't need a coat. And then I stopped to get gas, and I was like, wow, that wind is really cold.
Yeah, it's windy. Last night the wind really picked up again. Even last weekend when it was beautiful and warm,
super windy.
The wind was crazy.
What's great? The wind's been. The wind was not blowing, this is totally sufficient with a vest in this weather because the sun is out.
Yeah.
But that wind was just wow.
Yeah, it was something.
Totally something.
Yeah. So before we go to whips, we have two little.
We have FOs.
Oh, FO. Well, whatever.
FOs.
Before we do that, I think we could do either way. I was just going to do these quick little samples.
Okay.
Or we could do our FOs first. Sorry, my earring is now caught in the shawl. All right, we'll just leave that there for now.
Let's do the quick little samples.
I just thought because we shared this yarn a few weeks ago.
Oh,
a few podcasts ago.
Yeah.
So this is the Noro Sonata cotton viscose silk polyamide blend. And one of our employees knit a little sample in it. So, of course, they chose the darkest color, which may be a little hard to see.
But you can really see how this yarn changes kind of colors.
Yeah.
Do we know what this pattern is?
I don't know because they didn't label it, store employees.
Well, if we are able to track down what that pattern is...
I feel like they told me it was a petite knits pattern, but I could be wrong about that, so do not hold me to it.
We'll try to link it in show notes because that would be helpful for you to know what that pattern is.
I thought it was just nice to show because we talked about this yarn a few weeks ago, and I just wanted people to see. So even though it's a solid color, it's got some gradation and some tonality to it. But it's really cute.
It is cute.
Yeah. And it's so soft. I mean, it's really...
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice. So that was one of the ones I was going to show. And then we have another sample that I just noticed this pop up when I came in this morning. We have this super cute little baby cardigan. Isn't
that
it
so
adorable?
Cute. That is adorable.
Yeah, so this is a free pattern from Barocco called Wren, like the bird, W-R-E-N. And it is done with Barocco Vintage Baby hand paint and Vintage Baby, solid. So this little sweater took, let's see if they wrote that on here, 2 skeins of hand paint and 1 skein of the solid color. And this was a 0 to 3 months. So anyway, I just thought it was so cute and very... No, spring-like, but easy to do. It shows how easy it is to just take a solid color and do a couple little accents and change the character or something entirely. So,
I was just looking real quick on the petite knits pattern to see.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that. I think Jen B made it, so we'll ask. I'll ask Bella and she can let us know.
It could be, the problem is the sleeves are throwing me. It could be the cloud tee. Is that sport? No, that's fingering.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Before
We'll
this
put
post.
it in show notes for you guys. Could be anchors too. Let's see if that one's part. That's calls for DK. Oh no, that's got stuff at the top. I will say Petite Knits has some lovely
basic
tees and tanks.
Shapes.
Yeah, super classic.
Yeah.
It's totally possible that's not where that pattern came from, but just looking cute, it might be cumulus. Does that have a V-neck?
No.
All right.
Correct.
So I'm just striking out. That's also light fingering. Okay. So.
And I could be feeding you faulty information. So
okay.
I'm not sure how long I've been looking in there. That was a vague memory of a conversation that happened several weeks ago. I don't know.
Well, we'll figure that out.
I'm not sure you should, as you should know by now, you should not necessarily assume that I'm correct about everything.
So what do you got for some
I have 2
FOs over there?
I have 2. How many do you have?
I have 3.
One of which you've already explained, right? Or 3 more?
No, I have 3 more.
Oh, because of course you do. So I
told you I was trying to finish stuff. Which is what I did.
So was I, and I did, but I only finished 2. Although this hat wasn't very far along last time I was here, but I finished it. It's so cute. I do love it. At first, I will tell you this for anyone who decides to knit this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, until you're 3/4 of the way through this, you'll be like, I'm doing this wrong. This pattern doesn't look right. It's wandering all over the place. And once it's done, then you're like, oh, look, it does hang together. It just, you're switching things a bunch of times, but it...
That's the Boston Bog Hat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The Boston Bog Hat by Baby Cocktails or Thea Coleman, depending on how you look. But it's so cute. I love it.
It's cute.
I did block it last night, so it's a little damp.
It's a worsted weight pattern, right?
Yes.
So you could, if you knit the sweater and you had leftovers, you could, more leftovers.
Yeah.
Use it for that.
It fits really nicely, actually. And there's no... you start the brim on smaller needles, and then you just switch.
Go.
Well, you switch to larger needles once you get up to wherever. And I knit the brim, the shorter version. There's a longer version as well. But
how much yarn did it use of the skein?
I didn't measure it yet, but it was like 3/4 of a skein.
Okay.
So, but it's nice, and it hugs my head, but not like, which I don't like at all. So, and when I put it on right after I finished it, it was so squishy, but it definitely needed to be in the water for a little bit. Because the cables were kind of wonky, and I didn't even stretch it or block it. I just laid it flat and let it, because I didn't want it to get bigger. It's wool. Mine is wool. I made this out of Bobolink's Romney Twist, which is a Romney merino blend, which we don't have that in our store here. It's in one of the other stores. But the Romney that I bought yesterday, and she had some merino there as well, so I'm going to make some more of it.
Awesome.
So there'll be more in the fall. But anyway, it's a really soft, squishy yarn. It's nice.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I'm happy about that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Let's see. I take it back. I have 4. I don't have a project picked for these guys. So I just am making some more of these hats. These are bulky weight hats on like size 10 needles. These are all going to be donated. I'm kind of doing these as little like amuse bouche in between larger projects because I can finish these very quickly.
And they're easy to carry around.
They're easy to carry around. So I think I've
and also
already,
let's use up the yarn and just get it out of the
8 or 9 of these already, and they're just all going into a pile to be donated to various places. In fact, I have another one on the needles already, just because.
And that's Lion Brand, is that what you said?
This is this Lion Brand. It's do I have a tag?
Save one for a sample in case we get some of your Lion Brands in here.
It's this mandala impression, so it's a bulky weight yarn that sort of changes colors. This is that current one on the needles, and they're super fast. I can get 2 hats out of 150 gram skein.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I think that's actually my last skein that I have. So when I'm done, I'll have to figure out what bulky hat I'm gonna knit next.
Or maybe you'll be in sock season.
I think I will be in sock season, but I always have those on the needles as well. So a little bit of both.
This is bugging me.
But yeah, this is specific because I will donate that. I do have a bunch of bulky yarn that I could make hats out of, but I wouldn't donate it. I would gift them to people or wear them myself. But mostly because it's more expensive yarn, but also some of it's not superwash.
Yeah.
And I don't tend to gift or donate things that can't be machine washed.
Be washed.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have those hats.
Okay.
Adding to my growing collection of just random hats that I'm making for funsies. And I did finish the socks when I said I was going to.
Okay.
And I did. Here they are. Those were the basketball socks.
Yeah.
So they're done just in time for baseball to start.
Yeah, I love that yarn.
It's wool as a nosh.
Yeah. Nice colors as usual.
Lovely colors. I did not try to match the stripes, so the stripes don't match on the socks.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care.
Which colorway is that again?
That is, you would ask me. It's one of the club colorways. Let me tell you which one. Loading. Please stand by. Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. It is Cartophile
Oh, the map one.
is the colorway.
Is that? Yeah.
Yep, Cartophile.
That background color is perfect.
I know, isn't it gorgeous?
Mm-hmm.
So lovely. I wanted socks that had a little bit more. I make a lot of shorty socks in the summer, and then I realized I didn't have too many with a longer cuff on them, and like your ankles get cold in like these crossover seasons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd probably make another pair with the taller cuff, just to have some extra socks that
Mm-hmm.
have the cuff on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
or a taller leg, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So those are done.
Okay.
Socks done. Yes. Sock level unlocked.
Right. I finished my hood. It's still, this is
Woohoo!
Hoodala by Laura Nelkin.
Mm-hmm.
So you may remember last time I think I had said that I was running out of the purple yarn, and I did, in fact, because as it turns out, if you read the pattern correctly, you need twice as much yarn, almost exactly twice as much yarn as I had in that one skein. So luckily I had this very complimentary lavender, same yarn, and so this has done the knitting. I'm thinking a couple of things. I might ease the transition of the color by either doing, I have a little bit of this yarn left, just enough to do like a little embroidery of flowers around the top of that maybe, or you know that would-be sweater, I think, from Wool and Pine, where they sort of thread the yarn through. And I might do like a gradation that sort of goes up or comes down from them. Anyway, so
that would be cool.
this is done, but it may not be like done. And it is a tall thing. But it fits pretty well. It's a little droopy until you get it situated.
Yep. Caltipus was kind of the same.
Yeah, and actually, because the net needs to be turned inside out, which is a little, it's better if you put it on that way, I think.
Yep.
There.
Yeah, it's a little fiddly in that regard.
Yeah, but
once
it's
you
nice.
get it situated, it's nice.
Because then, you have the cover for when you're out walking, when it's freezing cold, and your neck. I'm actually thinking I'll be wearing it this week.
Yeah, it's so cold out.
So, yeah, so it actually, it's pretty good. And I was wearing it the other night as a cowl before I washed it, and I was telling Angie it was kind of a little itchy for me after an hour or two. I mean, honestly, my walk takes 45 minutes, so...
Right.
So I was thinking this morning, I was like, I don't want to knit like an inside piece for it, but I might have to do something if I'm going to wear it for a long time. But I'm pretty excited to try it out this week and while I'm walking. So
awesome.
Yeah, and it was fun, interesting to sort of understand how the pattern works. So it's a Laura Nelkin pattern, and the yarns are Boblink yarns, a border Leicester that Katie had made a couple of years ago that I bought at Rhinebeck, I think. I don't know when. So they're nice colors, so I might.
They are very nice.
Yeah. There's a palette, as usual.
There's more of a palette. So my other finished object is the second Northman mitt is done. This is a fun color work. This is supposed to be a lined mitten. They currently are not lined. For my hands, the lining would be fine, but these are a gift for my friend here. And she decided she didn't want them lined.
Yeah.
So
I could probably, they would probably...
Would just be a tighter fit.
Yeah, which would be fine. But aren't they pretty?
Aren't they gorgeous?
I'm excited.
They're lovely. So also, if you wear them for a little bit and you're like, I want them to be warmer, you can give them back to me and I'll knit the lining. Because I have the yarn for it. So it's... not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you tell me what you want. But I'm seeing a color palette here that's emerging.
Well, it doesn't change much. As you can see, it's sort of in everything I wear. Yeah.
So yes, this was used worsted weight yarn. I think when
those are going home with me.
Those are going home with Jen. I'm going to take a couple of pictures first, though, so I can put them up on project page. I think 2 weeks ago, I said it was all Barocco yarn, and when I went back and looked at my project page, I was like, that's wrong. The purple is actually a Malabrigo Rios.
Oh, okay.
one of their solid colors that I had picked up because I couldn't
Oh.
find the purple.
Oh,
I had a Barocco purple that I was supposed to use. It was a different shade, and I couldn't find it. And then when I came in here, I liked that purple a whole lot, so I got
So they're super wash, so I can wash them.
They are super wash. Yep, it's all super wash.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it ultra wool or is it vintage?
I should probably look at my project
doesn't
page
really matter. I was
because
just curious.
I was wrong
I can look later.
the last time and clearly had no idea what I was talking about. Let's see. It's vintage.
Okay.
So it's vintage and Rios. But if I add the lining, they will not be machine washable.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that was Juniper Moon.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Jen's going to let me know. I have one more finished object because I was finishing all the things.
Yep.
The sweater is done.
Mm-hmm.
It does need to be blocked, as you can see, because the thing is.
And luckily, because it's the yarn it is, blocking means putting it in the washing machine.
I may just hand soak it and block it. This will lay down. This is the thing with these kind of
I hate
colors.
that when
Like,
that happens. It drives me crazy.
It won't.
Yeah.
So it's been tried on. It's been declared. I can't believe you finished that already. So clearly I decided to do the striping on the sleeves.
The same. Oh,
That-
no. Are they the
Yeah,
same?
they
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
I just made that decision because I was like, it's going to irritate me to even knit it.
And so, are there lots of little bits, or was it pretty straightforward?
I
pretty
was
close,
able
yeah.
to split. So
Yeah.
I knit this portion of the sleeve and then I wound off the rest of that color and it was enough to do
Oh, good.
this
That's
sleeve.
what I was hoping would happen.
Yeah. So no, I did not end up with a bunch of little bits.
That's good.
It actually worked out quite well, but so these are 12 rows and I did 15 here because it was just I knew what the number of stitches were for both, so
Yeah.
it was fine.
I think it's good that you did that. It would have been fine.
yeah.
Because you have the skinnier ones at the top where you have more of a thing.
Yeah.
But I still think it would have bugged me if they were different.
It was going to bug me too. So I just was like, nope, I'm going to deal with weaving in all the ends. Buttons have been picked out. So it calls for 2 buttons. So we're doing one of each color. The sweater receiver has made the button decision.
And she likes it.
She does like it. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Perfect.
So I just need to block it and throw some buttons on it and she can have at it.
Good news.
Yeah. So that one's done too.
All right.
Yeah. We cleared a whole bunch of stuff off the needles.
Yeah.
Now that means I have to figure out what I'm going to make
Well, hopefully,
next.
hopefully, I will start with these whips again. I don't have an active. Well, I mean, as I said earlier, I have 1,000 active whips, but not active. I have 1,000 whips. I had to decide which one was going to come back to the table. So those are the 2 I brought with me, even though I didn't really work on them while we were for the last 2 weeks. So there's not much progress to show. So one is my Argyle vest. So I think actually I didn't bring this last time, and I think I had put a couple of rows. I've started doing the blue triangles. So this is all tangled up right now. I was waiting to find the bobbins when I clear out my room. So I did. Since the last time you saw it, it's had exactly 4 rows added to it. And these are the accent colors for the triangles.
Nice.
This is called Argyle. It's a Vogue knitting pattern, which I am sort of doing the thing, except for the third accent color is white, and I'm doing the ribbings in the white rather than in the other 2 colors. That's just what they did here. And then where the green is will be white stripes on mine. So that's duplicate stitch afterwards. So that is coming back. I know where the bobbins are now. I haven't cleaned that section yet, but I saw them, the container that they reside in.
You put eyes on them?
I still haven't found my my Advent package from before Christmas yet, but I haven't completely cleared the decks yet. So
I mean, I don't know anything about losing yarn. Ever.
It is weird to me because my house is not big, so there's a limited number of choices where it could be, but it is the 2 rooms that it's likely to be in are still very chaotic. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping, but I pod through like some of the bags and things, so I really honestly am not 100% sure where it's gone.
I mean, generally, when I lose something like that, it is tucked in a bag. and
know,
have been shoved somewhere. And when I go looking for it, I'm not looking in the bags.
I started looking in them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But those aforementioned whips live in live in bags as well, and so yeah. I think there's a box somewhere that has the whips that were under the coffee table, and I have not seen that. Now that I think about it, maybe that's where it is. But I don't know where that box would be. Anyway, we'll find it. I was hoping I could find it because then I'd have something fun to show today. And also that would be a project I might start because it would be a linen poncho for the summer.
Yeah.
So anyway, what have you got over there for whips?
Nothing.
Oh.
I mean, this hat. That's it.
All right, I have one more. Well, I don't really. I brought the sea glass cardigan in because I am going to dig this out. This is not a very portable project. But I had gotten like to the top of the armholes, I think, maybe. Mm-hmm. So I brought it back to refresh all of our memories.
Yay!
And I was going to bring all the colors with me, but then I thought that's a big bag of yarn that I don't need to cart around with me today. But you can see all the colors because there they are. And when I opened it back up again, I was like, oh yeah, I need to finish this sweater because it's really nice. It's
gorgeous.
Yes.
And that's the CC's Wool American U kit that I also have.
Yeah, right. And that, after I made my... the pullover that I made, that you made, whatever, that sweater. This yarn is really lovely. So I would like to dig this out and start working on it again. So that's coming back around.
Nice.
Also in the same palette as everything else on this table.
I mean, you got to go with what works for you and what you like.
And the yarn that you have, actually.
So I've been following the release of this particular pattern. Let me see if there's a bigger picture.
Oh no, it's not the one. Oh, maybe it is. Is it the one Krista knit?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Eleanor Mortensen just released Sleeping Beauty sweater.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If you've seen, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what else I've knit of hers. She has a bunch of different patterns, and I know I'm pretty sure I've knit something of hers before. But it's lovely color work. A lot of the options, you can do a short sleeved version, you can do the long sleeve version, but do you guys know how many times I've gotten sucked in at the Cannon Hand Dyes booth? Like every year at Rhinebeck, I'm looking at their Instagram posts and I'm like, Jen, we have to go over there because I want to get the yarn for that sweater. Yeah, we do, but usually it's because I see a sweater that I want to make, like the Jennifer Steingass one that I did.
Former employee Krista, who many of you know. Oops, come on. She just posted this. She had been in the store looking for some of the yarn. She had some and she picked up some here. Hers is really beautiful as well, so I just wanted to show it.
So Cannon Hand Dyes was one of the test knitters for this pattern, and she posted a version that has a dark background with green. Sorry, that's super crinkly, guys. Try to... There. So that's the mini skein kit of greens with the pop of pink that she knit with this really lovely blue. So of course I had to order it.
Yeah.
Because why not? So this is called Deep Sleep, and it is a merino yak nylon blend. So why not go big? Yeah. Go big with the yarns. And this is merino silk. So this is gonna be
Abigail.
A really amazingly warm and soft sweater. It's all fingering weight.
Really? Sorry. What is going on with this stupid lady? Now I have to. It's like one step further each time.
Oh, I know.
That'll be really pretty.
So that's gonna be this Sleeping Beauty sweater, and the way Cannon Hand Dyes knit it is the greens are all of the leafy parts, and the pink is for the flowers, and the dark blue is just the background. So it's a stunningly gorgeous version of it, and
that'll be really pretty.
Impulse purchased all of this yarn
there you go.
a while ago when before the pattern even released. So I was
Mhm.
kind of guessing as to how many of skeins of these
Yeah.
I needed, just to get in. So it should be fine. I got 3 of them, and with the amount of color work that sweater takes, and if I'm running short, I'll just do shorter sleeves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not really worried about it. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. But I'm excited. I think but there's a lot of yarn to wind. So I'm gonna have to, and these minis sometimes can be super finicky and not
Quick to wind. but
they're
annoying.
quick to not wind but annoying. So
Yeah.
I think that's the next sweater
Awesome.
that's up. That's Sleeping Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
And then I have a whole bunch of different woolens and Nosh yarn. The most recent club yarn just showed up, and I was like, oh, I think that's going to be my next pair of socks. So I'm going to wind that yarn too, so I can get some socks on the needles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then figure out what I to do with the leftovers, because these ones I just finished, they probably have half a skein or 40 grams of a skein left.
Yeah.
I guess probably just going to be a hat. I might
That'd be a good hat.
start knitting the brim with this and just see how far I can get, and then switch over to this.
Oh, you have some of that left.
Some of this, yeah, because I only did the
Cuffs.
cuffs, so I probably have quite a bit left.
Yeah. That would be a nice hat. Those colors are nice.
Yeah, I think it would be a great hat.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The stripe will be really skinny.
It will be very skinny. Maybe
So it
just
may
like
be-
one row.
Yeah.
One row stripe. It's
Yeah.
like 2
Yeah. Yeah.
2 to 3,
So
2 and a
that'll be
half.
cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be different take on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because hats are also portable, so
Yes.
to do hats a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that will be, you wouldn't want to do a textured one because you want the yarn to have its own, the colors to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'd be easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think those are 2 projects. I'm sure I'll get distracted with something else in the meantime.
Yeah.
But a couple other hats that I'm eyeballing that are colorwork hats to use up some leftovers from some of these projects. So
Yeah. Right. The good thing is to finish the projects and then you're like, okay, here
what do
I have
I
all
do
these
with all this
bits.
yarn?
These are going in the bin.
Yep.
I have bins for the different.
And
And I do use them. I go back. Like when I did that sea glass tea, I used up a lot of finger away leftovers.
Yep.
So that was a great one for that.
Yep. Exactly. So I think we were talking about doing a spring tea along. And I had another idea, which kind of incorporates that, but makes it a little broader. So we're
We
going
could do
to,
both, right?
well, let's
No?
start this one.
Yeah.
And then because I haven't worked out the other one. So we're going to do, first announcement, Nelkin Hood Along. I've not yet closed the thread, the finished objects thread. So if you're
You're
close,
this close to the end. Net.
if the FO thread's still open, post away. We'll pull prizes for that the next time we come back. The pressed flowers along is still going strong. So there's still time. That one ends April 1st. But again, with any of these, if the FO thread is still open, you can add fair game. Announcing the new along, the botanical along for spring.
Yeah.
So here are the rules. It's gotta somehow relate back to botanicals. So whether it's
And it can't just be the wash you use to wash the garment at the end.
right,
Sorry.
that had not even crossed my mind.
It just popped into my head, and I was like,
So it could be the motif. And botanical is not just flower, right? Like botanical could be like trees
ferns
or leaves or whatever.
Acorns or
related to plants.
Yeah.
So the motif could be botanical. The pattern name could be botanical. The colorway of the yarn you're using could have a botanical name that would also apply. Very broad here. Be creative. This Sleeping Beauty flowers on it, that would work.
The name of the yarn company could be Botanical.
Yep. So it's botanical.
And part of the reason we chose Bud as our Yarncast pick of the week was to give you a little jump if you wanted to, because that Bud is a plant name. So
botanical.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. We had to scratch the score. No, I'm just kidding.
And I think
there's all kinds of things that we have here that
so
are inspired
if it's
by nature,
not obvious in the FO that you're posting what the link is, make sure to tell us.
Right.
That
if it's
the yarn or the pattern name or something to create that link back to the botanical theme.
Yeah.
But that's we'll start that. We'll just start it now because whips are allowed. Whatever.
So 3/28 because that's when this will post, right?
Yep. 3/28/25, and we are going to run that through the end of spring, which
first
would
day
be
of summer, June
6/20 ish. Whenever, let's look. Let's see if I can figure this out.
Is it not showing up?
It does not show up on my
First day.
So no, it does. So let's just run it through June 20th anyway. So you've got lots of time to do the botanical along as we welcome spring.
June 20th. Friday, June 20th, 2025 is the summer solstice.
All right. So the along will end 6/20. Knit stuff, woodwork, crocheted stuff, woven stuff, like any of our fiber crafts. If you want to, people are stitching, doing embroidery, if it's botanical.
What if you crocheted a flower motif and applied it to your garment? Yeah,
totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally, that would work. It just has to be botanical in nature. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I think the plan is to be back in a couple of weeks. I was just looking at the calendar, so it would be April 6th. And I think we can firm down the details for the summer tea along and announce that one at the next Yarncast. But a summer tea along is coming as well.
Double dipping.
You could totally double dip.
Probably will be allowed.
Probably. Why not?
Because it always is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's not 100% true, but it's 98% true.
But I guess maybe for the question, if you have some thoughts for the summer tea along, we've done it really broadly, but if there's a specific pattern people want to use recently, or something that just has struck folks that you're like, I need that motivation to make this, let us know, because we like to do those this time of year. I think one year it was like the yarn has to have some level of cotton in it or non-wool product or something, so maybe we'll just combine all of those. But coming up, the summer tea along as well. We'll work out those details and announce that at the next Yarncast. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Upcoming event, other things, other upcoming events. So we had our sort of introductory email for Great Northern Yarn Haul organization.
Awesome.
And we decided to run it for the whole month of July. It happens to work out, and it then covers the 4th of July weekend, which is great, so people will be traveling around. So it'll be July 1 to July 31.
Awesome.
So that is gearing up. We're gearing up for that, so that's good.
Excellent.
The only other thing we have on the table here that we forgot to mention in the sort of products section is...
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a little while now, but we have coconuts. We brought coconuts, bits and pieces, accessory items into the store. So we have all of our usual stuff, but we've just added this stuff as well. So we've got all kinds of stitch markers and, like these little...
These are stitch stoppers
Right.
to put at the end of your needles. These are magnetic, so stitch markers and other things stick to that.
To the
You wear it on your
maker's
wrist.
keep.
Yep.
And then this is a little project bag. We had, I don't know, I didn't see them when I was walking around, so we may have sold them, but I'm sure there's more coming. The blocking mats, we have all kinds of of little things. So if you're a fan of cocoa nits and you're looking for a few things, check it out.
We've got them.
Yeah.
And I'll provide a
Full
link
line.
in show notes as well.
Yeah.
So people can find them on the website.
Yeah. And then in honor of our botanical lung, this bag caught my eye as we were walking over here. So these are not on our website because they're made by a local woman, Sylvia Geiger. And but for you local folks, we have a new bunch. She makes beautiful bags.
They're
and they
gorgeous,
range from
yeah.
like sort of really luxurious feeling ones to just super fun ones, and all several different configurations. Like this is a great bucket bag. It's got all kinds of pockets on the inside. It's got, the drawstring, and it will also, fold over so you can do you've got everything accessible to you. Right away. Anyway, it just caught my eye because I was like, oh, flowers.
I might need a new traveling baseball project knitting bag. So that has also just caught my eye.
Yes, right.
But yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So if you're local to us, come on in. I'm sorry they're not on the website because we don't know what we're getting every single time from her. So it's really hard to sort of keep inventory on the website because they're all unique. But she has cork bags as well as fabric ones, so there's some great stuff over there.
Yep, totally.
And we have lots of other project bags as well. This one just caught my eye because we've been talking about flowers, and I was looking for flower inspiration as I walked back here.
Absolutely. So, but we've got to wrap this up.
We do. I have to open the store.
Because we got to get the store opened.
Yes.
But thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. We hope you have enjoyed your time with us. We appreciate all of you, and thank you for spending some of your time to learn what we're up to and what's happening here at the store.
And despite the up and downs of the weather of this time of year, I hope your daffodils are flowering. Mine are.
My crocus is a flower. Started to flower.
The crocuses are flowering, but the daffs are up like this much.
Mine too.
So. Yeah. Excited. So.
It'll be exciting.
Yeah. So
signs of spring. It smells like spring outside. Yeah.
Mud. It smells like mud.
So we'll see all of you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Okay. Bye. Continue this conversation. So local,
about a retreat.
Yeah, well,
coming back around.
Local Yarn Store Day this year is April 26th.
This year.
Next year we don't know, but if it hangs, if it's that last Saturday in April, that would be April 25th. That also, I can tell you, this is going to be school vacation week.
Yeah. Here. In the rest of the country, they don't have February and April. It's in March.
It's usually in March sometime.
They just do one in March.
Yeah. Though, I don't know. I think other places are starting to pick up that February break as well, are starting to shift because my brother's family is in Washington State and they had a February break. So I don't know.
I was thinking that in other places they do like President's Day, they do a March break, and then they have like an extended weekend for Easter or something.
Yeah, I think it depends on like.
Yeah, all the most of my colleagues that are in our southern offices.
So this is 2026. Easter is very early.
Yeah.
This year it's very late, or later than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we're looking at 2026. I know it's a long ways away, but we're trying to figure out the timing of
late summer
of a potential for retreat. Like, does March 2026 work? Does April? April has a lot of competing things. Does August work? Like
early August before everyone goes back to school.
And I think what we're trying to consider is March is great if everything's inside. Like all the stuff is indoors, like it's probably more class focused, but we were mulling some ideas that it might be fun to do some field trips.
Yeah.
Like we have so many great things here. We have farms, we've got mills, we've got wineries, we've got, so...
We have fiber things, and then we have all the amazing Vermont things.
Right.
So what's the combo?
And does it make sense to think about doing some sort of like off-site things and maybe less classes? but then we probably don't want to do March and April because the weather can be super unpredictable. It can be super cold.
You have to bring your boots, which
which
you might
we
to go to
got
the farm anyway.
snowstormed last year, which people were delighted about, but everything was pretty much inside that was planned. So, we're trying to just get a sense, like, what do people want to do? I think we know for sure if we were doing some offsite stuff, the cost is going to increase. It's going to probably increase by quite a bit.
It's the bus.
Because it's the bus.
To rent the bus and the driver.
Like that, just from experience, like we did some buses to Rhinebeck a couple of years, and it's not inexpensive.
It's a bit crazy, actually.
Yeah.
It's almost like, should I buy a bus instead of rent it?
No, I know, right?
I'm just kidding. I am completely kidding.
Yeah, and so, we're trying to just figure out what makes the most sense. Like, what do people want?
So if you have ideas, or if I went to a retreat, this would be my favorite thing to do.
What would make you sign up for a retreat?
Yeah, drop it in the comments below, because we're beginning to speculate.
Right. And we're trying to keep things as reasonable as we can. We understand that it's, I have a visceral response when I go out and look at some of these retreat costs, and they're $3,000-$4,000 plus airfare, and you're just like,
plus you have to buy your stay room on a boat.
Well, sometimes yes, but sometimes the room's included, and so you factor that in. But I think all things considered, people made their own hotel arrangements where we were. They had a good rate for that, and allowed people to like share rooms if they wanted, or make other arrangements.
I think we would continue to do that because that's the easiest.
That is super easy,
it's
but
much
I think
easier for us, and it's easier for everyone else to sort of decide what they want to do.
Between the cost of the retreat itself and the hotel rooms, I think it was like maybe $1,500. People correct me if I'm wrong with that math, but
plus whatever travel expense you might have.
Plus whatever travel expense you had. So, I
would like to stay closer to that, only because it feels more accessible to people.
Right, but if we add a bus, it's not going to stay there at all.
Yeah. But we would get to do all the fun stuff outside.
Yeah. And probably it would need to be in August, because trying to do outside stuff this time of year is just.
Which is why then the idea of like, well, maybe, and it's also a thing like. It started with like, oh, we should go to a farm and see the baby lambs in March or April. But then
it would need to be April because most of them aren't lambing in March.
Yes, and also that's not optimal time to be visiting a farm from the farmer's perspective.
Yeah, it's cold and mucky and gross. And we have heard, thanks, Kelly, that baby sheeps are still super cute in August. And it's much nicer outside, though we still can get a crap ton of rain.
Or it could be 1,000 degrees and 85% humidity.
Right. So, but
at the end of the day, we just have to pick what works. But we would welcome all of your input and thoughts from those of you that have been before, or those of you that have been considering it. And
or like,
why would you want to come to Vermont at this time of year?
I haven't signed up for a retreat because it's missing this, or the time was wrong, or March never works for me, or so I think there's
so many choices out there these days. We want to make sure that we balance the Vermont's an awesome place to come no matter what time of year, but there are certainly times of year that are
better than others,
slightly more optimal.
Well, and I will say those times of year cost more.
Because
we're not going to get the good hotel rate in August like we did for March.
We might get some though, because it's back to school. Like it depends.
It's right in the middle of wedding season.
Oh, right.
So we're
I'm beyond that phase of my life,
wedding season in August.
Yeah.
That's assuming they would even have availability there in August.
That's why we have to start talking about this now, because we actually need to reach out. The first thing we have to do really is set the date and then reach out to the hotel. And we may even need to reach out to the hotel
and find out what dates are available, and then set a date based on that. So,
and then fill in the rest of it. But anyway, share your thoughts.
We're crowdsourcing right now.
That's right.
Because we bring this retreat for all of you.
Yes.
So what do you want to do? What do you want to see?
Yeah. What's the thing that you most want to do in Vermont while you're here?
Yeah. and if it's just, hang out and knit, we could
can
do
make that happen.
with, a few classes interspersed, but mostly sort of
little
downtime.
talks from people or
Yeah,
something.
we could totally do that.
Yeah.
That sounds delightful too. And,
Yes.
I think we would be looking at the inn at the Essex Resort again. Like, that was a great facility. They were wonderful to work with.
If we did it during warmer weather, they have great outdoor
They have
facilities.
outdoor facilities.
Which are awesome.
Fabulous ones there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
even April or May, we start to get into graduation stuff and Mother's Day. And
Basically, every month has some
complications,
Yeah.
but also it starts to get into their high season and their rates increase significantly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
are we just, January 2027 and we're just like, we're doing it in the dead of winter and we're just going to deal with the winter stuff?
In which case, it'll be primarily based indoors.
Yes.
If we get lucky and there's a big snowstorm, we'll make snow angels. But
Right? That was so much fun last year. We had to flip a few things around and it all
was
worked.
fine.
It all
Yeah.
worked. So could share some thoughts. Like we could also pull like the retreat attendees from last year. I was thinking about putting together a little like Google form thing and just saying like,
We can survey based from our through our newsletter, constant contact thing, MailChimp thing as well.
Yep.
That reaches more people too. Plus, usually it's the people, all the retreat people
Yeah.
are on there.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
can do both.
we had that sort of exit survey, which everybody who attended last year, I'm pretty sure everybody filled it out, which was immensely helpful. Thank you,
Right.
folks. But we're always trying to adjust and tweak and just
And things
can
happen.
we make it
Like there's new
better?
ideas. Things
Right.
come along. Yeah.
Or is there some other format that people want to see?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I know like India Untangled starting to do a bunch of like fiber tour ones. They're doing one in Ireland. They're doing one in Italy. They're doing and so
And the grocery girls are like on a boat every other week now.
I
It
mean
seems
that
like.
that concept intrigues me. Because we have such an amazing sort of fiber shed here in Vermont between farms and producers and mills and we could our limiting factor here is accommodations.
Yeah. Right.
And I think the state's small enough, it kind of makes sense to maybe have a home base if we were going to do something like that and do day trips from that home base versus changing venues like every day or every couple of days. That definitely has some challenges.
And we have to think about transportation hubs and if people were going to fly in or whatever to join us, which in the past more than half of our attendees have probably, or about
flown
half
in?
maybe. Yeah.
No, this last time almost everybody drove in.
No, maybe it was just a handful of people that flew then. It seemed like there were quite a
The
few.
first year, a lot more people flew in.
Okay. Well, either way,
Yeah.
Burlington is a transportation hub. I mean, that's where the airport is.
Yeah.
And, we could look at the proportion of how that worked. Because then we could just do a shuttle from the airport. But anyway, all things to think about. So if you have any ideas, we won't talk about this too much longer. We can switch on to our normal.
Yeah.
chit chat.
Yeah, but we had started there, so we were like just continuing our conversation
Yeah.
on screen. So anyway, all right. So
What did you do for the
last couple of weeks?
It's only been 2 weeks, which is
been
exciting
2 weeks,
all by
which
itself.
It is exciting.
Although I'm reminded of how short 2 weeks
It's
is.
very short.
And if you're busy and there isn't much knitting time, the table in front of us gets emptier. There's more to share when it's a longer
I
time
know.
in
I
between.
kind of feel like I should have had a ton of time to do
I know.
knitting
I
stuff
don't understand why I have
because
nothing.
this is like the calm before the spring sports start again, which for me starts tomorrow for one of my kids. But I just feel like there's been so many other things going.
Yeah, it's been busy. I don't know the
on.
last 2 weeks. I've traveled twice. I mean, that's part of it is I've been gone twice, and it wasn't downtime knitting.
Yeah.
Travel was drive.
Ugh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think this current weekend, was sort of the most other kind of thing. So the Mount Abe Spring Musical was this weekend. So the kids and I went to that Friday night. Abigail just had Pinewood Derby for Scouts. That's also been going on. I went to a cooking class last night with some friends. So I've been kind of doing some other things.
I don't have any fun things to share, really, except for that my house renovation project is done as of Friday. Well, they're done.
They're done.
Now
You're
I
not
can
done.
put my whole house back together, which...
Your work is just starting.
Yeah, and there's just dust on every single thing. So
do you have because I know for me with stuff like that, I have grand plans okay, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to put stuff back. I'm going to reorganize everything.
I'm doing that because I have to.
I'm going to rejigger how stuff's laid out in here. And then when a push comes to shove, you're don't have the energy, and everything just gets thrown back kind of in a mess. And then you're why?
Actually, I'm forced to do it, which is good.
Okay.
Because the configuration of the rooms has changed a little bit.
Okay.
And the shelving and the stuff in my utility room has changed.
Okay.
And so, which is fine. It's good. And I have more space in there now because I got rid of the freezer and some other stuff.
Okay.
So, it's fine. I just haven't had much time, and I haven't had a ton of energy. However, my sister is when can we bring the cat? When can we bring the cat? When can we bring the cat? So,
you're getting a cat?
I'm taking my sister's cat because my brother-in-law is very allergic to that cat. It's just sort of gotten gradually worse and worse and worse. So I'm getting a new kitty next weekend, which means everything has to be put back together because I cannot bring a poor new cat into the chaos of...
Cats do not do well with that.
No, and also he'll hide and I'll never find him.
You'll never know where he is.
So, we have to... And then I think I'm going to adopt a kitty from the shelter as well, so there'll be two.
Nice.
So, yes, so there's an incentive plan.
Okay.
And I had forgotten, I'm of two minds because it's been easy to not have a cat for the last, period of time. But even after the stuff with my mom was done and I sort of had a chance to relax a little bit, even with the house renovation going on, it's so easy to leave the house to travel.
Right.
You
just go.
Yeah, I don't have to make 1,200 arrangements. I just go. Because I live by myself, I have to make arrangements. So that part has been really easy. And despite the house being full of dust, it's not full of cat hair.
Right.
I don't know which is better or worse. But then I went to see Liz from Kingdom Fleece and Fiber to drop wool off for Bobolink, and I was inside chatting with her for a few minutes, and her two kitties came out, and I was like, oh, cat energy, cat. I do. And they were very sweet and wanted to come over and say hello, and were following me around for a minute. And then yesterday I met Siri at Yankee Rock Farm. She's a shearer to buy more wool. So my back of my car is full of Romney wool right now.
Awesome.
Yes, very sheepy. And there was a barn kitty who was very sweet and friendly. And I was like, yep, it's time to have another kitty. So, and I've met the kitty that I'm getting. So that's a plus.
There you go. Yeah.
And also, he's probably 8 or 9 months old, so he's still very much a kitten, but he's not like a baby kitten.
Right.
Because I'm 1 year and up. I don't have the energy for kittens. So my sister has had that whole piece of it, and I'm getting the slightly older version. But he's a sweet kitty. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So, but that
What's
means a lot
of... What's kitty's name?
His name is Georgie.
Georgie. That's a good cat name.
He came with that name. It's fine.
It's fine.
I do like to name my own cats, and I usually change the shelter kitties' names because they name them whatever random
weird
string of names they're using that week. So anyway, yes, but that is the incentive plan to get the house put back together, which I need to put back together anyway because it's sapping all my energy. Just living in chaos and dust, and it's been January, February, March. Yeah.
Long time.
Long enough. Let's just put it that way. But, so nothing fun to report, but checklist items, which is good. So
awesome.
Yeah. And not as much knitting as there should be, but I don't,
I mean, I think I had said I was trying to get a bunch of stuff off the needles, which I have to some extent, and there are the lights, accomplished.
Where's your daughter?
She's got her headphones in, so she's going to be of no help here.
All right.
but then I kind of reached that point where you're like, oh, now I need, and both of them
I
came
don't
on.
understand.
So weird.
There's like a magic spot right here, but you can only reach it if
you stand up.
Just to annoy us.
I have to wind yarn. That's the impasse for like every new project right now.
Yeah.
And so my
going
brain,
back to whips.
like a little bit was like, I don't know what I want to do because you have to wind yarn no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. When you finish all your whips, that's the problem. I have an endless supply of whips, so that's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
And I have a blanket to crochet together, which has also not happened yet.
I have one more like whip cowl that I probably could pull out that the yarn's all ready to go. Maybe I should finish that before I really dive into the next project.
You can avoid winding yarn for one more day.
But today is like a good day to wind yarn because I actually have time to wind yarn.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. These are terrible problems to have, right?
Right.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anything else happened, but it just we had Irish Pie Day at work. That was fun.
Nice.
Pie Day was on Friday, and St. Patrick's Day was on Monday.
Yeah.
So we did it on Monday. So,
okay.
Yeah,
nice.
I made a beef and stout pie, which everybody was quite excited about.
Awesome.
It was good, and although as it turns out, once you read the recipe, it's basically beef stew with a pie crust on top of it. It took a lot longer to make because in my brain I was like, oh, whatever, put it in a pie crust, cook. But you have to cook
make
the beef stuff for like
first
2.5 hours. And of course I started it at 5 o'clock on Sunday night.
Of course.
I was like, I didn't read the recipe, which I should have.
Mm-hmm.
First rule of everything, cooking, knitting,
all the
crocheting,
things.
Whatever, read the recipe pattern, whatever. I'm not always good at that. And then I also made a maple pie, which was really good, very sweet. But it basically, I wasn't quite sure what the texture was going to be of the pie part. But it's like maple syrup and sugar and eggs and cream.
Kind of like a cream.
You would think it would be like maple cream, but it was more like a fluffy version of pecan pie without the nuts.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? It was delicious.
Yeah,
actually. It was a nice.
That sounds good.
And it leveled out, puffed up and leveled out, and didn't sink all the way back. It was good. So
that sounds good.
I had never made either of those. So we had so much. We still have pie left. I bet. Unfortunately, I had to travel on Thursday and Friday because I had pie every day at lunch, and it was awesome. A little snack at 10 and one at 4.
The Shelburne Charlotte Heinsberg Rotary does pie for breakfast as like a fundraiser, and then they donate the proceeds to like local food shelves and stuff. But it's always right around 3:14. So this year it was on the 15th. So William and I went to Pie for breakfast and then had some errands to run.
I love pie. Weekend. Pie is my favorite dessert, probably. I mean, I'll eat anything really for dessert, but I am particularly fond of pie for some reason.
They had a nice selection of gluten-free stuff. So it had some quiche, which was delicious, and some apple pie, which was very good. As well. So.
We had a gluten-free pie option as well. Unfortunately, that one is still in the refrigerator. It didn't go as fast. We don't have anyone.
No,
I don't think we have anyone who's gluten-free, but in our office, I could be wrong, but we have in the past. I think right now we don't. But anyway, it was quite successful, which is good. Sometimes it's very hard to get our people to participate, but people were
into pie.
People were into it. We had, the whole range, like pizza pie and shepherd's pie and pie, and we had a nice balance between savory and sweet.
Amazing.
It's lovely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a fun idea.
Yes, I think that's the only fun thing. No, I'm just kidding. It's not like the last 2 weeks have been terrible. They've been fine. It's just been busy. So
yes. I feel like I have a new parenting level that's been unlocked.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Hopefully it's a good one.
No, it's a good one.
Yeah.
This past week, William cooked dinner for the family.
There you go.
3 different times. One time was just cooking frozen pizza, but still totally fine. I would have taken that one by itself. The other 2 nights, He was following recipes, putting, together whatever the planned meal was for that night. And that was amazing.
And willingly.
And willingly. Yep.
Pretty willingly.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more like, hey, you're home. Everybody else is super busy. We really need you to take care of this. And he stepped up and
likes to cook,
did it.
doesn't
He
he?
does like to cook.
That helps.
Yep. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him and great for you.
Yes. Yes. And I think,
the only tricky thing is like being like, oh, William can now cook dinner 5 nights a week.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to like burn him out. You got to calibrate
he's also,
that temperature carefully.
Baseball's starting and he's going to be busy 5 nights a week. So, anyway, it just...
But now you know it's available.
Yeah.
It's an option.
Yeah. And, it wasn't, like we had one night, it was like...
William, this is delicious.
No, it was. He did a great job.
No, I'm sure it was, but I'm just saying you have to lay on the...
Yeah. No, one of them was like a miso chicken.
That sounds delicious.
Kind of thing.
I'll be over for dinner.
I know. The other one, what was the other one that he made? The pizza? What did he
Did he pick the recipes?
No, I picked the recipes.
Yeah.
Because we had already,
you shop.
I have to meal plan for the whole week.
Yeah.
So we had already gotten groceries and meal planned. I can't remember what the other one was, but it was something similar where he had to like mix stuff and cook stuff and do some other things, and he pulled it all together and
awesome.
Used the food processor and like read the recipe and
executed perfectly.
Yeah, no, it was, both of them were delicious.
Yeah,
they were great. I mean, the kitchen looked like a bomb had gone off in it, but afterwards, but it's fine. It was just some cleanup. So yep. Hello. I have the other one here too. And she's starting to get interested in kitchen stuff.
As long as she gets interested, between the two of them, there's someone who cooks and someone who does the dishes, right? That's the balance between the two children.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal.
I would just be happy if someone besides me could wipe the counters down. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I would be ecstatic. But apparently it's my lot in life to be constantly wiping counters down.
Yeah, that's how I feel at my office, as a matter of fact. And the powers that be have decided that every office needs a waffle maker. And
okay.
I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
It's a fun thing. One of our youngest employee was beside himself excited about it. And I was like, all right, fine. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to say no to a waffle. So, but all I can envision was like, we can barely keep the coffee marks off the counter, like from splattering all over the counter, and people can't somehow wipe that up while they're standing there waiting for their coffee to brew. It's a white countertop. It's not hard to see them. So I just can only imagine the waffle thing will just be so. At our Monday morning meeting tomorrow, there'll be a little bit of like, so we unpacked it. The minute that Janet has to clean waffle smears off the countertop, let me explain to you where it's going.
Where it's going. It's going away to never be seen again.
Yes. And the fact that I have to explain this to a room full of
grown-ups,
let's say 25 years and up aged people.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, but also normal.
Yeah.
Except for that it's not really normal. Like,
I know.
Like if you empty your plate and anyway, I'm not going to belabor it, but it's just baffling to me.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway, 26 minutes in, should we?
We should probably switch over to the actual content.
Yes. We should. So, all right. Hello again.